Before I start, I just want to give condolences to the families of those who were affected during this tragedy, and the lives that were taken, young lives full of bright futures, ambition, vision, and just condolences to those families as well as to the Rodgers family for what happened to your son. Much just like Elliot Rodgers, I'm a 23-year-old proud virgin. Never been on a date, never kissed a girl, any of that. He drove a BMW, I drive a Mercedes Benz. There's a lot of similarities between us, but the difference is purpose and realizing the treasure that we have as proud virgins. He saw it as a burden, but I see it as something that can uplift people and show light to who they are. He didn't realize the treasure that he had in being a virgin. And as I was looking at some of his videos, and I was just looking and realizing, like, he didn't realize what he had, and it was sad. I went over a couple of his videos, wrote a few key points down that I want each of you watching this to realize and understand, because the truth is, this response is not for Elliot Rodgers because he's dead. Dead men can't see videos. But as a 23-year-old proud virgin, founder and president of the Proud Virgin Movement, PVM, we live unashamed lives, and he saw his virginity as a weakness, and I wish he could have come to me for me to strengthen him and encourage his life, saying that, look, being a virgin at 22 is a great thing, because when you finally get married, you have no comparisons to compare your wife to. It'll all be a fresh start, all be new. So many marriages are ended, and so many relationships have ended because of unfair parallelisms or unfair comparisons because of what they had in the past. One of the things I want to point out is he talked about loneliness a whole lot. He talked about himself being lonely, how he had no one, but the truth is that those of you who are watching this, I want you to understand that loneliness is not the absence of affection. No, it's not. He had a loving family, people who loved him, people who around him supported him. Loneliness is not the absence of affection. It's the absence of direction. Not the absence of affection, it's the absence of direction. Which means he had his focus in the wrong place. He was solely focused on who he didn't have in his life. What he didn't have. Who he didn't have some woman in his life. But if he got his focus on something else, I mean, his father lived in a mansion. He could have been helping empower people in his community. Going out and volunteer, 22 years old, he had such a bright future ahead of him. Yet he chose to focus on what he did not have. And he saw it as a burden instead of a treasure. That's what I want you guys to get. Understand that. That being a virgin, if you're celibate, it's a treasure to have that. It's not a burden. It's not something that you look at and say, oh man, I can't believe I'm still a virgin at this age. But it's a treasure. Because few people still have what you have. Maybe somebody lost it in a way they regret. They wish they would have saved. They wish they would have held on to it. But you still have yours. In another one of his videos, he kept talking about how he does everything he can to appear to be attractive. And sadly, many of us do the same thing. We want to have an appearance of something that we're not. We wear and put these masks on just for beauty contests and just for people to look at us like who we are. We want to appear attractive and appear to be something. That's why I always tell young ladies, the first thing you do when you get dressed is not to be sensual. It's not just get the attention of other guys, but number one, you want to be comfortable. Comfortable in your own skin, not too revealing. You don't have to reveal yourself to be fly, to be fashionable. Because many times girls who wear revealing things, they had to grow to that. They had to get past that barrier of being ashamed and be able to grow to wear revealing clothing. But no, you don't have to reveal yourself. Your body is God's temple. You don't have to dress like that. You don't have to wear those type of things. You don't have to try to appear to be something you like. He talked about how he bought $300 glasses and he drove a BMW and he had all these things that would try to look like that he's something. He wanted so desperately to have an appearance of something he did not have. Sadly enough, he had a mansion, BMWs. He had the life that many people go to college for and want to have. But he failed to see the beauty of what he had because he chose to focus solely on his loneliness and not maybe being able to help someone else. Get your focus right. Get your vision right. It's so important. Many of us can fall into the very same trap. Many of us can fall into the very same pitfall that he even fell for. He talked about how he thought he deserved women, some type of entitlement he thought he needed to have because he looked a certain way, because he dressed a certain way, because he had a certain type of clothing and materialistic things. He thought that he deserved a woman. He thought he deserved a girl. He would always say, why them and not me? He would say, I thought I would be the one to get all the women because of how we look. And this entitlement piece is so sad because he thought that because of what he looked like or because of what he had, that he just deserved a woman, that he just deserved something. And society is not in itself, is not out of this, because we too take a part in this blame in this culture where women are an object. We objectify women. So you see a car, you want to sell a car, what do? You put a half-naked woman there. So which has more value, the woman or the car that you're trying to sell? But you use the woman to sell the car. You want to sell certain beverage, lotion, shoe, use a half-naked woman. The body of a woman has now become not necessarily as a soul, as a person. Now it's just an asset. Now it's just something that you use. You want to sell this, you want to be marketable, put a naked woman. So now it's no longer seeing women as souls, people who have feelings, but we only characterize women for what they have on their bodies. Like if I was to name a handful of famous women, and the first thing that will come into your mind is something about them that's sexual. Like if we say I'm not going to name any people, but if we say some popular people, it would be their bodies or their lips or their legs or something like that. And in society, we've learned to categorize people based upon how they look. Like if you ask a guy, two guys are talking, they say, man, you still talking to Jessica? You still talking to Jasmine? They say, which Jasmine? Jasmine with the big butt? Or Jasmine with the nice body? You categorize her based upon her physical or existential appearance, but you did not categorize her for Jasmine with a great personality, somebody who I really like, but you only categorize her based upon her body, and that's sad. He talked about how he felt invisible because he couldn't get the attention of any girls. And once again, focus is just so important. He felt invisible. He looked for his validation from other people. And that's a mistake that many people can make. When you look for your validation, when you look for people to tell you who you are, what you're going to be, no. Who you are is already on the inside of you. He should have looked no further than within himself to get what he needed to go. He needed the right focus. He needed the right plan. He said, I feel invisible without you noticing me. I feel invisible. Really? Because somebody doesn't acknowledge you. Your whole existence is nothing? Come on, you got to have better plans for your life than that. You got to have a dream, some passion, something that you wanted to get to, but not just take the lives of innocent people because of what you didn't have or because of what you don't know. Again, objectification. He talked about how he went to a grocery store and saw this guy with two girls, and he said, I should be the one with the girls. If it's a shoe or something. And notice girls, not singular but plural. Now it's like, oh, go get a handful of girls. Sex has just become something just like a mere handshake now. So now it's like you can just go and buy it. You can just go get your hands on it. Like a grocery store. You got bread, cheese, eggs, milk, sex, soda. No, that's not what it's supposed to be. He said, I should be the one with the girls. As this is something that you can just pick up. I know with the African girls being kidnapped and being taken away from their homes, guys were talking about, real men don't buy girls. That's true. Also means real men don't buy prostitutes. Real men don't go to strip clubs because those African girls were enslaved by a man. So even if you look into America, whether they're enslaved by money, they're enslaved by bills, enslaved by debt, they do certain things just for it. That woman in that strip club, that woman in prostitution, she's not doing it because that's what she enjoys. Real men don't support that. You want to build women up. Real men build women up. Some guys say, if she doesn't respect herself, neither would I. No, a real man says, if she doesn't respect herself, I'm going to show her who she is. I'm going to show her the queen she is. I'm going to show her the young lady she is. If you down yourself, I'm going to lift you up. If you down yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, I'm going to show you what you're supposed to be like. The queen, the woman, respected for who you are. Not just a body, but a mind, a soul, and a person who has emotions, who has feelings, who has a mind, thinking process. Another thing Elliot Rodgers spoke much on was the fact that he was in college. And he was saying, college is just a place where you're supposed to experience these things. College is a place where you're supposed to go around sleeping around and partying. but that could be further from the truth. College is a place to further your education. Only immature people see college as some type of sexual stomping ground where you go around and sleep with as many girls as you can. Only immature guys see that. A mature man sees college as a place to educate himself, to grow to his future, to where he wants to be. So when the time comes to get married, and when the time comes to building a family, you have everything inside of you already to do that. But sadly, just like society and culture, he gave in to the peer pressure of, college, that's a place you get drunk, you wake up with hangovers, can't remember what happened the next day. That's not what it's for. Focus on what you're supposed to do. All of those graduates who just graduated, going into college, you're coming from college into the real world. Focus. The reason why you go to college is not to party. He lost his focus while he went to school. So he was in school and had no purpose. He was just wondering, why am I here? He forgot the reason why he went. It was to better himself and his education, to better the world, your community, and where you are and where you live. As individuals and as people, we have to take our responsibility in making sure that women are appreciated and valued, so that our future generation of young women can be appreciated and valued. I have 3 sisters. So I know what it's like for guys to look at you a certain way, and every time I see a guy honk his horn at a woman and whistle or say something degrading, it's a different level for me. And I understand that women are supposed to be treated with respect and value. They're not objects, they're not toys, they're not things. And sex is a gift from God. You cannot take his gift and idolize it. Sex is not God. Sex is a gift from God to be used within marriage, only for married people. Anything outside of its expiration date is spoiled. Sex best used by date is within marriage. Anything out of it will spoil. That's why relationships are spoiled. People have spoiled attitudes because of what happened. But when you understand your value and who you are, you pursue the things and righteous things of God. In a society and as a culture, we have to take responsibility. And knowing and understanding that men especially, you treat women with respect, with dignity, and with honor. So no more whistling. No more neck breaking, head turning when a woman walks by who's dressed provocatively. But we're going to show respect. We're going to take our integrity to another level, to another standard. So to ask yourself, with every Instagram post, with every tweet that you post with provocative women, are you doing our society and culture justice or injustice? Are you helping it move forward or backwards? This is Minister Emmanuel Osborne. Share this. Join up with the movement. Connect. Save sex for marriage. Let's move on. I'm out.